Okay, thank you. So welcome to the 57 TSC meeting of Sylva. Let's start with the participant from the voting partner. I can see Team Orange, Deutsche Telekom, Vodafone. I hope that Luis from Telefonica will join us. In that case, we will have the quorum for the vote, if needed. And then I see participant from Canonical, Linux Foundation, Control Plane, Red Hat, White Stack, and please tell me if I didn't mention any other participant. Okay, it seems okay. Let's start with some organization of the meetings for the coming summer. The next TSC will be in 2 weeks on the 2nd of July. After this meeting, we were thinking to have a summer break because I think that most of us hopefully will have some vacation. And the proposal would be to start at the beginning of September, because in the last week of August there will be the open source summit in Amsterdam, where there will be the Sylva and the Sylva Day, so I think it's not good to have a meeting during this week. So probably the next meeting will be on the 3rd of September. Is this okay for everybody, or do you think that we need to organize some way a meeting during July and August? It seems okay, so we will change the calendar after the next meeting in 2 weeks for starting again the activities on the 3rd of September. Let's move to some general news. The first one is that we already shared the fact that the 2 online voting were positive during the last TSC, but the official voting period was not finished. This is the official result at the end of the voting period. So 5 out of 7 vote, and the proposal were both approved. There were the proposal regarding the introduction of Open Nebula as one of the infrastructure on which Sylva can be deployed, and the other one was the update of the Sylva roadmap that has been published on the GitLab of Sylva. The next general news is that today we will have a focus on a proposal for the creation of a new work group on cluster networking, and I propose to have this at the end, just after the recap from all the work groups. Is this okay for you, Vuk? Okay, good.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's go with updates first.
Okay. From the direct fund, we don't have any information to share because the meeting that was planned last week was cancelled, so we don't have any news from the board. And then we had just an update on the reference people from Ericsson, where the backup, the alternate contact person is Rafael Montero Herrera, and the table on this page for the contributors has been updated, and there you can find all the references for the people in the TSC. Then I would propose to move to the workgroup 1 update. Mathieu, do I have to refresh the page?
Yes, please. I think I updated it a few minutes ago. Have it?
Okay,
yes,
here it is.
So small things. First, we had a nice presentation yesterday from Orange and the Canuck team about an evolution of Metal Cube that they are proposing to the Metal Cube community in order, especially to be able to share a pool of bare metal servers between multiple tenants and not dedicate some servers, some nodes to a single project. This is very interesting for us, and we see a lot of benefit with that. And it would also come with more flexibility with Metal Cube for other use cases, such as some small clusters based on KubeVir technologies. It's another use case, or hybrid clusters with nodes based on virtual machines and other nodes based on bare metal servers. So this is very interesting. This is evolving in the Metal Cube community. It's a bit slow. If we can have any support from the Sylva community into that Metal Cube community, it would help. So the other point I wanted to tell you is about Sylva 1.5. So we've been discussing that yesterday with Workgroup 1. If you remember well, I was proposing potentially to skip 1.5 and to focus on 1.6. Well, after giving it some thoughts, we don't think it's a good idea, but still we have to postpone it a little bit. We think about delivering Sylva 1.5. It's in September instead of July as it was expected. So this is the best we can do. I don't think we can not reasonable to tell we will deliver Sylva 1.5 in July.
Okay.
I think this is a good move to postpone it.
I agree too. I think it's better to postpone it rather than canceling it as one of the options that we discussed the last time.
Do we have to vote about that? Or?
I think it would be useful to have a decision, an approval from the TSC for this. I think that as Luis joined us, we have the quorum.
And I am
So,
okay.
so if we can have a vote either on the chat or just by voice from team is okay to postpone it to September.
Telefonica is okay.
Deutsche Telekom.
We are also okay. Sorry.
And for Orange, okay, I see. And from Guillaume and from Vodafone.
Yep, that's okay for us as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nicoletta. So I think that it's okay, and we should update the roadmap accordingly, changing the feature in the version 1.5 will remain the same.
Yes, sure. The blocker is still about moving to Kubernetes 1.32. We want to work on including the capability of deploying of having at least in Sylva the Open Nebula provider. We'll keep working with Red Hat and with the Canonical too.
Okay.
So it's really about introducing new infra provider and Bootstrap provider too. And we have other exploratory items, so it will depend on the workforce here.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. I see your.
Yeah, just it seemed like the proper time to bring up the exploratory item for Red Hat. We want to switch that to not exploratory, but a main feature for 1.5. We already have pull or merge requests in for it and things like that. So wasn't sure when to throw that into the conversation, but this sounded like the good time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So not sure how we want to handle that.
So
yeah, everything that is stated as exploratory, but based on the evolution of the code, it can become a feature candidate. I mean, exploratory means mainly that we don't know how to do it explicitly today. But if we solve the different question we have during the 1.5, we can transform it easily into something officially available in Sylva 1.5.
Yeah, our main concern is not having the things prioritized if it's just marked as exploratory. So we just want to make sure that the work for getting the merge requests done is prioritized in that set of things.
Yes, Matthew, and we are getting the right attention for that. That's all.
Sure, but here it really depends on the companies behind the work that is being done. At Orange, we are very interested in what you are pushing from Red Hat. I think at Telefonica, you are also interested in what Open Nebula is pushing. Canonical is of interest for multiple companies and companies that have core reviewers involved. So
in team, we are also interested in Red Hat availability. It's very important.
Yeah, sure, but so we can put anything we want in the roadmap. At the end of the day, it really depends on the amount of effort each company can put on each feature. So
at least, Matthew, we can consider in the PDF mentioning that it's tech preview, and we will see following the quality of the CI if we can go deeper or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay for me.
Yeah, totally agree. Thank you, folks.
Okay, thank you. Any other point for workgroup 1? If not, then we can move to workgroup 2. Luis?
Okay, so in workgroup 2, we keep validating as usual. We have 3 going on. 2 of them are nearly there, nearly finished. The first one, the DNS from Titanium, we already passed the test and we are doing the new steps, the in-service upgrade that is recently completed. So it's very close to have the final validation report completed. So this will be probably the 17th. The 5V, the 5F5, sorry, switch, we are running the test still. This is being done in Orange site. And the Power DNS from Exchange is already being tested. This is done in Orange as well. And the validation is also nearly ready. So this will be the 18th workload validated. Things that we want to do is completing these 2 and then start the new ones that are waiting because we still have a backlog that is waiting to be validated, and complete the approval of the white stack one, the new validation platform. The approval, what we have set as a condition is to validate successfully one of those that have already been validated in another one. So we are working on that. The validation is already defined and we should start doing it, and probably in the next couple of weeks, it will be completed, and then we will consider this a new validation report. And that's all we have done in the last 2 weeks, completing more or less what we had in the backlog, and we will add new or start validation for new ones in the backlog soon. That's all. Normal work, nothing special.
Okay. Thank you, Luis. Any question for workgroup 2? If not, let's move to workgroup 3. Mihai?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so on working group 3, we have identified the technical solution for the common vulnerability disclosure process. We had a bit of challenge of this because basically what we wanted as a requirement for this process was either too complex from a technical point of view, or it had certain dependencies. But finally, we've managed to have a solution that fits our needs, which can be integrated into GitLab. And the next step for us into this part is to synchronize with working group 1, present the solution, and then gather their feedback on the CVD process, because most probably the working group 1 will handle the fix of the vulnerabilities which will come, and we want a process which is also fine from a developer point of view. So that's one thing. We've been also doing some tweaks on the UCS, and we have noticed that there are some gaps which we have in terms of the mapping between the requirement and the features identified. So we are working also on fixing these gaps. And I think that last week my colleague Francois Regis presented to you that the supply chain, the Sylva supply chain topic has been approved for the Open Source Summit. And what we are doing currently is that we are working on finalizing the presentation such that we are ready for this event. And that's all from my side.
Thank you, Mihai. Any comment or question for workgroup 3? seems not. So we can move to workgroup 4. I don't see Huamin. I don't know if there is anybody else participating in workgroup 4 that can give the update. If not, we can just read together what has been inserted about the next activity regarding the green dashboard. And mainly is the plan for a new release of the dashboard, but not having Huamin, I think we can move directly to the other work group. I will ask him if he has something to add it on the minutes. And also in work group 5.
Yes. Hello, Carlo.
Hi.
Can you update the page, please?
Yes.
So basically, for the workgroup 5, the main update is that for the Sylva Summit that will take place on August 28th during the OSS in Amsterdam, the agenda is finalized and we have identified speakers. This being said, the more Sylva representatives we will have on the ground, the easier this kind of summit is, because there are the speakers and there are the guys having, the side talks in the room before, after the presentations. So if you didn't register yet and you have the possibility to attend the event, please do so. The more Sylva guys and gals there will be, the better for the summit. You also, since you must all have subscribed to the Sylva LinkedIn page or LinkedIn account, you have seen that we have increased the number of LinkedIn posts for the project just to be more visible in the ecosystem. Recently, we released the Q&A about the project. There was some, let's say, advertising, promotion about the Sylva Summit and so on and so forth. So please, it takes a few minutes, but you can like, subscribe, and repost, republish would be much appreciated, and it would help the project. And in preparation, we have a press release or a communication, at least, for the release of the 1.4. So we have a draft which is being finalized as I speak, or very close to be finalized, and then Linux Foundation marketing or media services will take over for the actual publishing. So that's the highlights for work group 5.
Okay, thank you, Nicolas.
One question, Nicola, regarding the increased LinkedIn posts. I saw the email from Reno regarding this. No, it was regarding this the email.
Depends which email, but we are asking everyone to contribute. Yes, so maybe it's related to that, Luis.
Yes, that one. So just to understand, because I entered into the link and didn't see anyone to use as a reference. This is intended to talk about things that we have done lately, no, not in general for the whole year, no. So things that we want to highlight from the last work or what is.
You can do that. Actually, just to give you an example, I have one in preparation by myself where we talk about the progress of Sylva and the increasing visibility of Sylva in different communities, not only the telecom ecosystem, but also in the European projects like the IPCI, for the edge computing, for the IT as well. So I'm going to do a post. So I'm going to use my account linking to the Sylva account, and maybe it's going to be republished. So you can post stuff on your LinkedIn account, and then we relay it Or you can also provide articles directly for the Sylva LinkedIn account. Both ways are possible.
Okay.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Luis?
Yeah, it does answer. Yes.
Okay. I see we have a question from Andrew.
Yep, just on the OSS Sylva Summit agenda, I'm not sure if the entry from Nokia and Red Hat on the framework to testing topic got in there in time for consideration. Just throwing that on the table for review, if not.
When we did it, currently, nope. So we'd have to check if we can insert it, Andrew.
All right. Appreciate it.
Okay, so first we need to have a review at the work group level. So it means maybe, is it Ran? Ran would be the designated contact point. I see him and Gergely. So because there's a slide description, so maybe we're going to ask them to come into one of the meeting of the group to discuss and just to understand better. If the subject is selected, then we'll see if we can add it. Because I think the agenda has already been published.
All right.
So we'll see if it's possible, Andrew.
All right. Just wanted to bring it up to see what we can do. So
okay.
Appreciate it.
Noted. Guillaume?
It's another topic for the Workgroup 5. Today, Morgan Richaud is at OW2 to promote Sylva in France. So just to inform you, and I'm pretty sure that Morgan will not join us to present Workgroup 6.
I couldn't understand very well, Guillaume. You say, okay, understood. Morgan is attending
OW2 summit.
OW2, okay.
Summit
and the rest?
in France to promote Sylva.
Yes.
And as a consequence, he will not be with us today for the TSC.
Okay. But maybe it's also a good opportunity to ask him to prepare a few bullet points about his speech, or I don't know if it's a speech or something else, so we can communicate on it as well. And I thought this is what you were proposing, but I'm going to do it.
Exactly. Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. Any other comment or question for Nicolas and Workgroup 5?
If not, just Andrew, if you're still there, what's going to happen is Julie is coming back from holidays next week, and we have a meeting on Thursday. So I think we're going to manage the matter on Thursday. If you can warn Ran.
I was in process of doing that. Yep.
Okay, so it's going to be Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and forward him the invitation to the work group.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Good.
Okay, good. So let's move to the last workgroup 6. I don't know who can describe the activities, or if there is an update. What I can see is that the meeting should have been rescheduled for tomorrow. Is this correct?
Yes, Carlo, that is correct.
Okay.
Speaking on behalf.
Thank you, Francesco.
Sure, yes, tomorrow.
Okay, so tomorrow there will be the next meeting, and we will have update on the next TSC.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I think that we finish with. Yes, please.
If we're done, Luis, I think we are going to need you for the meeting on Thursday 26 as well, because when I read the topic proposed by Gergely and Ran, it's present an overview of the high-level framework and the testing approach that will lead to Sylva compliance. And if I remember correctly, this is an item also processed in the work group 2. We start by the onboarding of the workloads, but there is also a pending item on the compliance to Sylva, if memory serves.
Okay, when is this happening? What time? On Thursday 26?
Thursday 26 at 5 p.m. Paris,
Okay,
Madrid.
I can do it. Please send
Okay,
me.
so thank you.
Okay, good. So now I think we can move to the last point in the agenda. So the proposal for the new work group on cluster networking. So I will leave the presentation to Book, or
yes, I will present.
If it is a Book, I think he should be promoted as presenter.
Yes, thanks, Carlo. I'm not yet promoted. I'm waiting.
I can do it.
Otherwise,
I think it's done, Book. I just
now
upgraded you. Should be okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I got a boost. Now I can do more things. So, new working group in Sylva. This was relatively long time in making since we first started back in May 2024 with a pitch about host-based routing until today. Practically, we did quite some things and also good preparation. And I would like to thank all the TSC members that reviewed and provided feedback on this proposal and then provided valuable inputs to this, as well as to working group or task force, let's call it like that, people who worked and then brought it to this stage after successful POC. So just to recap before going into proposal, we have last time appeared here on the TSC in December. And this was the point after the phase 1 of the POC was concluded, on which we said let's start preparing for the next step, which is going to be a working group to serve as a home for the telco networking topics or cloud networking topics. And in between, we had a couple of next steps or solve. Among other things, we in DT have been busy preparing and releasing our internally used host-based routing 2.0 with the new architecture, which we also presented in the group, and this is done in the meantime and shared, and even we organized the phase 2 of the POC, where this HBR 2.0 was also evaluated with the same results like with the phase 1, proving the use case, usefulness, and interest in the topic. Proposal for the Sylva working group is also now in front of us, and we have also moved forward with preparation for the donation of relevant HBR 2.0 elements. Once the working group is established, we have more or less all things clean to proceed with that, and not only to have a working group, but to have a first things that are hosted by working group. So this is a bit recap. We also, in the meantime, looked with colleagues that from Orange B2B who are working on the virtual network attachments. We had exchange, and we also commonly concluded that working group would be a good place to continue discussions and potentially also providing the home for these kind of solutions as well. Now, since we are in probably with the participants to TSC, there are people who have not been in the previous touch points. I would do just a quick recap about host-based routing and then why dedicated Sylva working group for that, and then proceed with the proposal. So essentially, the host-based routing concept that is pioneered and used in a telco environment by Deutsche Telekom is an answer on the network cloud network complexity and connectivity of the cluster. So one thing everybody is probably aware of from the experience is that once we have a Kubernetes clusters in a telco environment, the first challenge is how to integrate the workloads in these clusters with a complex telco landscape, with the legacy systems, with the partner systems in a different network segments. So this is first thing. And okay, this could be done one time in many ways, but the challenge becomes obvious. Okay, how to keep the consistency of that connectivity in face of dynamic data center. Dynamic data center meaning that we don't have a fixed allocations of the compute nodes to the particular workload, but we have a situation in which compute pool is generic, and at any point in time, the machines could be allocated to whatever cluster, and this it has to be followed by networking and connectivity as well. And to make it not that easy in a telco network, we have very segmented environments. We have many network segments. Many cases they are not harmonized among themselves, so we need to work with the Multus, with the SRIOV, with the MAC VLANs, IP VLANs, whatnot, in order to actually do and perform these integrations. Traditionally, and then we also know it from our closed environment, this initial integration is done by relying on the CIQs, Excel-based, and then networking teams close themselves for a couple of weeks and do all the configurations, and then say, hey, we are now ready, and then the cluster somehow works. But if you need to deliver several clusters per day, especially what we are experiencing these days, you are coming to the situation that you cannot keep up with that pace if you don't have something much more automated and much less demanding and laborious. I heard somebody, maybe there was a question. Not the case.
Don't think so.
Yep, sorry, I just heard the sound. So in case we need to deliver, and this is what is happening when you are running the cloud native network transformation, that the demands are growing and that are different workloads, different network functions are asking for not only each one for one cluster, but they ask for many, test, reference, production environments, and so on, coupled with the dynamic allocation of the resources in the data center. It's simply not possible to do it. And talking up from experience, if I look back to what we've been doing in DT in last 2.5, 3 years, never ever with a classical approach would we reach the level of fully integrated, fully configured and maintained 350 clusters on bare metal without what we have. And this is, problem statement that is being addressed by advanced solutions for cluster networking, cluster connectivity, and one of those that we have evaluated in the POC is a host-based routing, but there are also others, as we saw from the virtual network attachment team. So, looking at this problem statement, looking at the experience and solution, and also positive results in the POC, we concluded we need a common place to work together on defining, producing, and maintaining these solutions for cluster networking, cluster connectivity, automation, and why in Sylva? Indeed, because these problems, these challenges are arising to the largest extent in the telco environment. Looking like in the other industries, especially those that are cloud oriented, they are all talking about flat networks or very little segmented networks. So it appears to be very prominently telco challenge, and Sylva is essentially telco cloudification leading project, and from that perspective, it fits very well to this scope. And this is confirming the additional reason that we are here, the telco focused ecosystem, and this is where we will have a much more interest and much more progress when it comes to these solutions. So that's a very quick, very high level recap of the motivation and in general what we are addressing with the host-based routing. Now I would proceed with a proposal, which is very, very straightforward. We would like to propose to establish a working group, which is focusing on networking and connectivity. The scope of the group would be all the topics, or should be all the topics around connectivity of Kubernetes clusters and network functions and other workloads running in them. Integration with the partner systems in a highly automated way. We are generalizing it a bit and putting in the context of overall cluster networking, cluster connectivity, advanced networking. There are discussions, topics, how different scenarios like filtering, use of data processing units, alternatives for SRIOV, and so on. So these are all things that are in discussion that would naturally belong to the working group in which we would be addressing and hopefully coming up with a solution. So that would be, or these are the elements of the scope in terms of content. And the last point would be whatever solution we produce in the working group, or whatever solution gets to join to the working group, we could provide under the Sylva umbrella, and subsequently under the working group umbrella, the home for hosting of these solutions under the same terms and license of Sylva, and offering it for everybody who wants to use them. So that's the summary of the scope for the working group. There were a couple of options for the naming. Thanks also for the feedback provided on these. The proposal would be to name the working group cluster networking. So it's general enough to cover all these topics in the scope. And alternatively, if we need to maybe sharpen that versus what is like a default networking CNI, which is a working group 1 scope, if there is any need, we could also add advanced in front of it. But if we would like to generalize a bit more and then concentrate the topics and then not limit the working group, then cluster networking would give enough space for that. So that's the proposal. And to put it in the context, if we get positive feedback here and approval, then all the things around bootstrapping the working group will follow. Kicking off, we have out of initial participants that raised the interest, we have Orange, DT, and Sixwind, who was contributing to POC as well. Recently, we got also maintainer of the Metal LB, Federico, looking and checking. So there might be also engagement from that side, coming from the Red Hat organization, or however you take it as an open source maintainer on the other side. So these would be the initial interested parties, but of course the whole thing is going to be open, and there is a more than high interest to welcome additional participants. We have also first topics that would proceed after establishing it. So this is finalizing the phase 2 of the POC, which is more or less already done. Donating by DT to Sylva the current host-based routing 2.0 and continue maintaining it there. Evaluation of the VNA solution and establishing the connections and interworking with the other working groups. Emphasize on working group 1 in terms of development and then maintaining things. Working group 2 for the validation of the solution, and so on and so forth. So with this overview and introduction, I would like to put it on voting, but Carlo, you can take it over.
Thank you.
From here.
Thank you, Vuk. I would ask if there is any comment or any opinion on this proposal.
Or question for the sake.
Yes.
We still have some time.
Okay, Nicoletta, please.
Nicoletta.
Yeah, a question from my side. I guess it's related to the timeline, whether we have a specific timeline that we are targeting for the completion of this work, or at least the first deliverable.
Good point. So as we are heading into summer period, the ambition would be to do the first 2 things at least, kicking off and creating initial page in the next let's say 2 to 3 weeks. So just to acknowledge and to have a communication, and then rest in terms of donation and starting in the working mode, I think would be more realistic to happen until September. But all in all, it's a rather short term for these activities.
Okay. Other comments? Well, from my point of view, I think it's a very good proposal. I think it is really needed a place where to develop the automation for the networking is fundamental, as you described, Vuk. And so I think is really a good idea, good proposal. If there are no, oh yes.
Just a comment here. So I understand that one of the main topics of this working group will be HBR, but I don't think it will be the only one. I mean, today we are deploying Sylva without HBR. We still have some features to introduce about networking. That will be done firstly without HBR for the short term at least. So we will discuss that during this work group meeting, or this will be a concern addressed by this working group.
So essentially, we should have a bit of separation between the overall scope and the solutions this working group would also deliver. So as the overall scope goes, that would be place to discuss, to validate, to do the sparring on the any networking, cluster networking topics. So there will be also hopefully expertise and the interest in it. So yes, from that perspective, it would be a good place to discuss these things, and also to give a tasks on some of the topics that might be relevant to the overall cluster stack and usability. from the networking perspective. But on the other side, if we talk about host-based routing, that would be a fully optional add-on, at least from the initial perspective, that will be packaged in a way that who can deploy it and then address the use case can use it, but it's not mandatory, at least not until we manage, and this is not part of it's not shown on this slide, but there is one more step which is in planning for a HBR, and it is to cover the layer 2 use cases, which are still prevailing and dominant in practice, which are not covered by a current version of HBR. And it's not done also, among other things, in order to facilitate community approach to that one, not to deliver something that's maybe too opinionated. So.
Okay, Guillaume.
Yeah, question. I think you mentioned book that Deutsche Telekom, Orange, to contribute to this working group. So I just want to know if there are other partners around the table who are motivated by to contribute on this working group.
Red Hat will definitely look into it from our side.
Benjamin?
Yes, on Canonical side, we are very motivated by this working group. We are participating together with the rest of the Oven community in making Oven interact with host-based routing, FRR or other routing agent running on the host. So it's very interesting to us.
What I mentioned, bootstrapping organizations or members are these three that you mentioned, but as soon as we organize the kickoff, we'll send the open invitation, and then hopefully there will be a lot of interest to that, and very happy to hear from Canonical and Red Hat the initial feedback.
Also from team side, we are interesting. We are looking for resources to follow it, but we hope to find someone that can follow the activities. So any other question or comment? Otherwise, I think we can move to a vote if the TSC can approve the creation of this new workgroup. So from team, it's okay. We are in favor. Telefonica.
Yes, we are in favor, and we will try to have someone in the group. Also, we will have resources issues, but we will try and look someone to participate. You are in favor, yes.
Okay. Book, I imagine you are in favor.
I need to think about that, but yes, I'm in favor. For the record.
Orange, Guillaume, or Mathieu?
Guillaume indicated in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
It's okay for us. Guillaume is driving currently, so I'm sure he's able to answer.
Okay, and Nicoletta?
Yes, we approve that. It's a great initiative, and we are looking forward to supporting that.
Okay, great. So I think that we have the majority, and we can consider it approved from the TSC. So you have a lot of work together with the other to start this new work group. Okay, good.
Thank you very much, everybody, for the vote, and we'll definitely reach out for support to the experienced people who already are running the working groups to get a bit of insights, and we're looking forward.
Okay, thank you. And I think that we are in time to close the meeting. We cover all the items and we will meet again in 2 weeks and then we will decide exactly how long we will stop for some summer break. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.